guys. My coffee's brewing. Maybe it's a little loud, don't know. Hi, so I'm finally back with part 3 of my teacher story, and I want to tell you about why I started teaching again. So, if you have already watched parts 1 and 2, if not, I'll link them here, and they're also linked below. Then you know a little bit about why I became a teacher to begin with, and then why I decided to stay home. Yeah, that coffee pot is really loud, so we're gonna wait till it's done brewing and then pour a cup, obviously, and then I'll be right back. Much better. Okay, you guys, so I just want to talk to you about part 3 of my teaching story. So let's see. If you haven't caught parts 1 and 2 yet, please go back and watch those. I'll link those below. And at the end of part 2, I talked about how I decided to stay home, like how I just really felt called to be a stay-at-home mom with my firstborn son. He was 1 year old at the time. And that's kind of where I left you guys hanging. So let me come back to why I became a teacher again online. It's actually kind of interesting because a 5-year span passes between when I decided to stay home and then all the things that led up to me teaching online again. So I'm gonna try to catch you up in like a minute. So just give me 1 minute and I'm gonna try to shrink 5 years of my life into that time. I'm gonna try to do the fast version. That's like a Spaceballs reference. You guys have seen Spaceballs, right? It's so silly, it's super dated, but it's still great. It's a classic, in my opinion, of a parody movie. It's Mel Brooks. You can't go wrong. I love Mel Brooks. Anyways, all right, so I'm going to try to do the fast version of this 5-year span of my life where I was a stay-at-home mom, and I think that's a different story because that is part of my teacher story. A lot of why I wanted to stay home was so that I could be my children's teacher, because that's really what I felt called to do. And I know that's not for everybody. I think working parents, you're amazing, and I love you and respect you, and it's necessary because you're providing for your family. There's no shame in any game. If you're choosing what's best for your family, then it's the best for your family. I don't question that. Fast version, Marilyn, let's focus. Let me see if I can try to fit it all into a minute. So 2012 was when I decided to resign and stay home. That summer, my husband, he actually got let go. There we were with 0 income in our home that we just bought. Everything being said and done, we ended up having to list our home at the beginning of 2013. The first week, we got 2 offers. The first offer went through. We said bye and we moved out of our house. All right, God's telling us to go. I don't know where we're going. We ended up coming to Georgia. When we moved here in 2013, I was crazy pregnant. Then we're bouncing from house to house trying to figure out what we're doing with our lives. My husband gets a job at our church, so we moved into an apartment of our own. We stayed there for about 1.5 years. And at the end of that year, our baby was born and we need to find a new place. So 2016 rolled around. We started house hunting. If we keep in this budget, we'll be able to afford this on 1 income. The family that hosted our small group, the husband flips houses for a living. And he's like, what is your price point again? And he's like, I think I found a place for you. Long story short, we said yes. And it's more than I could have asked for. So that was 2016. It was right before the school year started for my oldest. He started kindergarten that year. So the mortgage rates went up on our house because our escrow account didn't predict how much the taxes would go up. So we actually owed. Anyway, I don't really know how all of that works. And as a homeowner, I really should. #adulting. Anyways, so all that being said, at the end of 2017, I needed to look for work because I was like, we're not moving again. I'm not about that life. My mom lives in the same house I grew up in. We moved once. I was 6 and that was it. I don't like having that upheaval all the time. We've moved a lot in the last 7 years. So my husband was like, okay, well then you need to go to work. You need to find a job. And I was like, all right. And I remembered this Facebook post from the summer that I had you can press those 3 dots, turn on notifications for a post, but you don't have to type following in the comments to follow it. Anyway, it was a teacher friend in California and she was like, hey, I'm looking for side hustles. I don't do sales. VIPKid was one of the things suggested in there. And I just filed that away thinking maybe I'll need that someday. Okay, so then I looked into it, and wouldn't you know it, right around Thanksgiving of that year, my sister-in-law started posting on Facebook and sharing like her teaching moments and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, how cute. Look at her butterfly headband. Look at the ways that she's connecting with her students. It's just so cool. I'm like, it's a legit company. It's not just some like weird thing. And so I went to the website, I'm looking it up, and I'm like questioning, is this something that is really doable? And didn't go any further from there. But then that Thanksgiving, my sister-in-law and her family came to visit, and she showed me clips from her class, and she showed me like, I was like, it's for real? Like you get paid on time and everything? And she's like, yeah. She's like showing me her payments, and I was like, okay, that's actually pretty good money for like doing that before the kids even get up. So I applied, and then I stopped my application right there. Like so many people, if you're a VIPKid teacher and you have any referrals in your portal, you know how many of them just sit there. Like they click the link and then that's about as far as they get. Like that was me for months. And then finally in March of the next year, I was like, yeah, I really need to go through with this because we can't keep living paycheck to paycheck. This isn't cutting it. So I buckled down and I actually filled out the application and did my demo and all of that. And it was really funny because like when all was said and done, when I did my demo, which by the way, that took me until like 3 a.m. because I was just so stressed and my lighting was really bad. And I was like, no, I have to do it. I want to get this done. I've practiced this many times, but I would keep stopping and recording it from the beginning over and over. So I submitted my demo and I got moved to the next part, which was the mock lessons. And I was like, all right, if I'm going to do this, I want to do it for real. And so I went and bought whiteboards, and I went and I ordered like a headset. I did like all of it. I wanted it to be legit because I felt like I'm going to be pretty good at this job. Like after doing the demo and prepping for the mock lessons, I felt like I can do this. And so I scheduled my mock. I was so nervous. It was back when you had to do both levels. Like it was a 25-minute mock lesson where you teach 10 minutes of a lower level class to a mock class mentor, and then they stop you, give you some feedback, and you have to apply that feedback to the upper level class. And it was great. Like it went really well, and I felt really confident, and they emailed me like a day and a half later, which was a really quick turnaround time. From picture day coming up. All right, I want to finish this video. And then the turnaround from that point was super quick. Like I think it took about a week and a half from when I submitted my demo to when I signed my contract. If you're not gonna build that, that's okay, but go clean it all up. It should be right there. I believe this is the last take. I would say from the time I submitted my demo to when I signed my contract, it took about a week and a half. It was really expedited at the time. They were doing a lot of hiring incentives. So I think they were really trying to build their teacher bank in 2018, because that's when a lot of people started that I am friends with, like on here, on Instagram. And it was slow going at first for me because I was actually really timid about it. Like even though I knew I needed to start earning money, I was kind of afraid to open slots. And when I finally did, and they finally started booking in like May and June and July, by July I had a pretty normal schedule like that I created, and it really worked for me. But I spent so much time prepping. Like I spent for every lesson that booked, I spent the same amount of time prepping for it like I did for the mock classes, which was an insane amount of time. So it really helped to go to all the workshops and join a couple of Facebook groups where like there are people that I actually trust and value their input. But highly recommend all of the workshops that VIPKid offers because they are tailored for VIPKid teachers. But that really helped me gain like a lot of great strategies, a lot of ways to kind of cut time down so I didn't have to spend as much time prepping. I was also a level 1 only teacher for about the first like 4 months. Being a level 1 only teacher really helped streamline my prep process and kind of cut down on those hours that I used to spend. That by the end of that first summer, I kind of knew I had a really good routine. As some of my regular students started graduating out, I followed them to level 2. I added level 3, and now I have all the levels and almost all the supplementaries, just because I always like to see what is VIPKid offering. It's more about my curiosity than like my desire to teach those. For some people, they like having all of the availability. For others, they're like, I only want to teach this level, so I'm taking everything else off. Totally fine. And the thing that I love about VIPKid still is the flexibility within it, not only with scheduling, but also with like what level you want to teach. I think that's really cool that you can have your trial certification removed. If you don't like teaching trial classes, like just get it removed, send in a ticket. Each season, I would kind of set different goals to meet. So like the first thing that I did, I think, was like set goals for getting, having these slots open. And even if they don't get booked, I would get up and do something to prepare myself for the other classes that did get booked. And as I met those goals, then my goals shifted. By the end of that first contract, 30 classes a month was my goal. And then like, okay, I'm gonna try more back-to-back classes and figure out a good system to prep for them. And it was just kind of cool to see, like, to look back right now and think about the different ways that I modified what I was doing so that I could reach those different goals. So like about a year and a half in, one of my goals was to earn $1,000 in 1 month. I'm just gonna do the math and figure out like how many classes do I need to teach to earn $1,000 in a month. I did it. I earned $1,000. I did get one referral, so that helped me bump over because I think it was like $900 even with some change. And then that $100 incentive for that one teacher who taught their first class like bumped me into the comma club. It was very exciting for me to meet that goal and check that kind of off my list, just to see like, is it possible with 3 kids and school schedules and all this stuff going on? Can I do it? And I did. It looks amazing. I love it. So what are you gonna call her?
Abraham Lisa.
Abraham Lisa. Do you mind if it's in the video?
As long as you do.
Say hi, Miles.
Hi.
Okay.
Wait, who am I saying hi to?
YouTube. I think the things that I still love about VIPKid are the things I loved then. The flexibility, just being able to build the schedule that I wanted, teach as many hours as I wanted, and know that I had this dependable paycheck as long as I woke up and booked, and opened those slots and got them booked. So I am still currently teaching with them. I also added Outschool, just because things are shifting in our family's needs and my time and energy. And with the difference in pay scale this year as compared to the previous two, they're running around and slamming doors. I wanted to see if there were other ways I could start creating income. So I'm approved as an Outschool teacher, but I have not listed a class yet. So it's September 2020. You guys can check in with me after that point to see if I've actually taught classes. I have a couple ideas, but I'm just trying to see how do they line up with my goals. Because like anything, I want this job to work for me. I don't want this kind of job to tell me what to do. Like the whole point of flexibility is to be the boss of it. So anyways, that catches us up to this point. I do have a business idea that I'm going to launch at the end of this month. And so be on the lookout for that. I'm very excited. It's going to be great. I'm really very excited about it. And people I've been talking to have been super encouraging. So yeah, so that is my teacher story. And I feel like the main thing that has shifted this fall, like when I really, really pared down my schedule, like this week I've taught 1 class. Last week I taught 0. The thing that has shifted is that this dude over here at the table, Miles, that drew Abraham Lisa. Mm-hmm. Abraham Lisa. He's home 3 days a week. And so I want to be able to support him. And so even me making this YouTube video is me taking time away from him. I want to be able to be there for him, which means that I have to really switch up my schedule and rethink, how can I earn the income I need and not be totally exhausted. So anyways, I will keep you posted on how that goes. We're still figuring it out. How many weeks have we been in school, bud? Since the 2nd week of August? So 5? I think it's been 5 weeks. Anyway.
I built my outfit.
Here come the 3 little pigs. Anyways, I am going to catch you guys later. Thanks for hanging out with me and learning more about my teacher story.
I like the first little
Say
pig.
hi. Which one is that?
Ooh.
All right, thanks for hanging out, guys. I will see you guys on Monday.
I'll see you guys on Monday, too.